Welcome to episode 2 of the tutorial series, uploading and downloading files from Google Drive, and in this case using the Google Drive as a storage API. In our previous episode, we were able to obtain the refresh token, we were able to obtain the client ID, and we were able to obtain the client secret. And those values, we were able to set them up in the environment file. So this is what we had in our env. And also we were able to have the files also in the config. In config directory services, we were also able to set our Google credentials. Today in this episode, I would like us now to use whatever it is that we had, the credentials that we obtained, to be able to upload files to Google Drive. So basically, that is the scope of this video episode. And as I said, we will be using the Laravel HTTP client for us to do the uploads. So let us go ahead and see what we can be able to do. The first thing I want us to do is to create database table, because I want us, once we have been able to upload the file, we save this file to the database with the file name probably, and then from there we can be able to then fetch that file whenever we need probably to download or something of that sort. So it's a small modification to whatever it is that I have. And inside here, I have a file here, which we have as welcome.php, and it has a place where you can be able to choose the file and upload. I would like to add one more thing, which is to also include the file name, because we will be picking a file name and then uploading afterwards. So let me go ahead and just include another input here. So maybe I can separate this using a div with a class. I'm using Bootstrap MB3. I'm using Bootstrap in whatever it is that we have here. It's just a simple form. It doesn't really matter whatever it is that you do with this form. Clearly, you can be able to just do it in whichever way you want. So I have included the Bootstrap CDN link. If you're using Tailwind, it's okay. So what we have here is a form, and the method is post, and we are sending the action to files. And then we have the enc type as multipart form data. Then, of course, we have the input of file and then form control. I think that is just it. So basically, it's something that you can be able to set up very quickly. I also want us to have another div with the same class of MB3 to just give our form a little bit of styling. But even if you do not style your form, there is nothing wrong with that, because it will not impact anything in whatever it is that you are doing. But if you want to follow, it's good that you have at least something of the semblance of whatever it is that I have. So input type text, and then name, we are going to give it a file name. And then, of course, we can have a class of form control. I'm using the basic Laravel way of submission of forms. I'm not using Livewire, no JavaScript, nothing. Just the basic way. So it's just a basic form. So if you have a basic HTML form, you can be able to just follow this without any problem. So basically that is what we have here. And now if we are to submit, then it's supposed to go to, so we have this. I think our form does not look nice. This other one is a file, and then we also have the name. I do not know, is it displaying properly? I think not, because this is the input for the name, and then this is the input for the text. So we are having this, and we are having this, and we are having, yes, because the problem is here. I hadn't closed this. I think that is where we have the issues coming from. Yes, now we have the input, and then we have this. I think probably we can be able to give a label here, just show whatever it is that we have in that input. So in this case, we can call it the file name, something of that sort. So this is not the name of the file that is being uploaded. This is a name that we will type in and then click upload to upload our file. But as you can see, the method files is not existent. I would like to give this button a class of, let me, yes, no type submit, give us some space, and to give it a class of btn success. So basically, our form will look something like that. I think not very bad. This is just a card and some inputs. So let us go ahead and create the routes. And before we create the routes, I want us to, in a new terminal, create the controller. So I will be using a controller in this case. So we're going to have PHP artisan make. And I want to do everything. So we are going to create a model. And the name of the model, I want it to be called file. And then after that, I want us to have -mcr. And this means you have a migration and you have a controller, which is a resource controller. So those several things should be done for us. And I want us now to go and have the routes. One of the routes, of course, the create route, we will just be using this route here. So we will have the other route. And in this case, it's going to be a resource route. And inside here, we are going to have files. And then we will have the controller. So in this case, we have file, I think it's called file controller class. Then, of course, we need to import the file controller above here. So we will have use app http controllers file controller. After that, I want us to attempt and just see that everything is okay. So I will refresh here and try to submit to our route again and see if we get any error. File controller does not exist, so meaning the name is different. Let me just go and check. So we're going to go to app http controllers file controller yes, there's a typo here. Yes, I think that is where we have the issue. So let me go back again and check. Click upload. And now, yes, it's actually hitting the store method of our controller. I want us to open our controller, and I want to just have, among the methods that we have here, I want us to have one more method, which I'm going to call token. So I just want to have it above here, and it's a method that we will use to create our tokens. So in this case, I'm going to have public. Maybe we can have it as a private function, token. And then inside here is where we want to set our token. And the first thing to do is to get the client ID, client secret, and refresh token, and even the folder ID. So what I'm going to have is the client ID. I'll save it in a variable, and we are going to get it as follows: config. Let me just do it like this, config. And inside here, we are going to, remember we had it in services. Our configurations, the ones that we did pull into the configuration files, we were having it in services and then Google and then client ID. So that is how we are going to access those values. So let me go ahead and do that. So services.google.client_ID. And then I want us to just copy this downward severally to be able to get the other things. So I need to get the client secret. I think I have typed it nicely, and this one is secret, like that. And then I also need the refresh token, _token, like that, and this one should be refresh token. And basically we would have been able to get all the values. I just want to try and see if we have all of them. But before I do that, let me just go ahead and first of all finish, because if we have issues, we can be able to check afterwards. So now what I want us to do is to use the Google Drive, to use the Laravel HTTP client to be able to create a token from Google Drive. And what I'm going to do here is use Illuminate support facades HTTP. So that is the HTTP client. And once we have it like that, I think that is all. The next thing that I want us to do is to get or do the request. So in this case, we have in a variable called response. And what I want us to do is HTTP to instantiate our HTTP client. And then the next thing we are going to do is to make a post request. And the endpoint in Google Drive, in Google APIs for getting the token will be found by this URL. So HTTPS, like that. And then we have auth2.google.com. .google APIs, like that, .google APIs.com and /token, like that. So this will get us the token. But of course, inside, as we send this request, we want to send it with, of course, the values that we have here. So the first thing that we need to send with is the client ID, _ID. And then, of course, we are also going to set it to the value of the client ID that we have here. So like that. And then we need the client secret. And this one we are going to set to the value client secret. We also need the refresh token, and we can be able to get it as refresh token. And one last thing we need to pass in is the grant type, grant_type. In this case, this one we are going to have it as refresh token _token, like that. And so everything is good for our requests. I can see we are having an error. Oh, this one I think is just because of the semicolon. Yes. And now once we have it like that, I want us to, in this case, be able to get our access token. And the way we will get our access token is by having a variable access token, and we can be able to decode. So JSON decode, and we want to decode a string, and inside this string, the string that we are decoding is whatever is that we are getting in the response here. So we will get response and then get body. So that is how we read the responses using the HTTP client. And of course, there are several things that you can be able to do. If you go to Laravel documentation and look at HTTP client, there's so much that you can be able to have there. I think I have forgotten another bracket here. And then we are supposed to set to true whenever we are doing JSON decode, like that. And this, you will be able to get the response body for us. But what I want us to do is to be a little bit quick and be able to get the access _token. So that is how I'm going to have it. And then, of course, we can say return access token. And so this token that we have gotten here will be used for virtually every other request that we want to make to the API. And so we have it exactly as what we have here. Just want to expand it such that you can be able to visualize everything if you want to just quickly type it in. I believe everything is okay with what we have here. And let us now see how we can be able to use the token. And I want to just, inside our store method is where I want us to just echo out the token. So in this case, we can be able to have access token and just call the method above the function that we have above, which we called token, like that. So once we do like this, in this method, we'll be able to launch everything here and plug for us the access token so we can be able to access it using whatever it is that we have here. So after that, I want us to just do dd the access token, so just that, and see if there's any token that we are getting from the Google API. So I want us to go back, refresh, and then when I click this, it will hit the store method. Let us see if we have the access token, and as you can see, nice, we are actually having the access token with us. So everything else will work perfectly because now we are moving on in a very, very nice way. So I want us to go ahead and upload our, in this case, our file. So let us go ahead and do that. So inside this method, we will require to do validation. So in this case, what I'm going to do is maybe inside validation, inside a variable like that, I'm going to have request validate. And what I want us to have inside here is that the file is required, and you can be able to do anything else, maybe the size of the file and so on and so forth. There's something else I think I've called file underscore name, and even this one we want it to be required like that. I want to close this with a semicolon, and I want to go back to our method here. So in this case, whatever it is that we are having in our file, in our resources views welcome.blade.php, and probably just try to handle the errors. So we can have at error that is related to file underscore name, and then here we can have at end error. And this file name, maybe we would have called it file title or something. It seems it can easily confuse somebody, but let's just have it like that. So here I'm going to have the message, the error message. And we can have this to have a div, a class of text danger, like that. I will still copy the same error sort of HTML and be able to paste it immediately under the file, so that if we have no file also, we can be able to get the validation errors. So this other one, I will just call it file, like that. And I think we can be able to go back and attempt and try and see if we are having the errors. So if I click upload, and now we are having that the file name is required and the file field is required. So that is okay. After that, I want us to go back to the controller and be able to process and upload our file once the file is uploaded. So after that, I think I can comment out this thing that we are getting our token with. And what I want us to do is to just have the, in this case, the name of our file. Let me just call it name. And this is the original, the client original name of the file. So whatever it is that the file comes with as a name. So the name, I'm going to have it to just give it a slug such that we do not have a name that has the spaces. So I'm going to have the str slug, and inside here I'm going to just have request file and then get client original, like that. So that will be the name of the file. After that, I want us to have something else with it, which is the meme type. And this is just whether it's PDF, PNG, whatever it is that this file is. So that is what this means. And here also, I want us to get it in the following manner. So request. And remember, whatever it is that you're referring as request is whatever it is that is coming into the store method through this request here. And what I want us to have is request file, and here we can get the MIME as get client meme type. Get client meme type. So it will tell us the meme type of the file that we are uploading. And after that, once we have those two things, then we can be able to go ahead and upload our file. So what we are going to do is a response. We are going to say is equals to, again, we can use the HTTP client to make the HTTP request with, and we can attach with headers. And inside the headers, I want us to pass in our access token. So in this case, what we are going to have is authorization, and then we will have our token. So in this case, our token is a bearer token. So you have bearer, and then some space, and then concatenate our access token. I think that is how it is. And then anything else we can be able to pass here. Content type, we will set it to application JSON. And then after that, we can be able to chain post. And then we will include the URL for uploading the files. So in this case, let me just type it in, HTTPS. And what we are having is www.google-apis.com/drive/version3/files. So that is the URL that we use for us to be able to post the files. And then after that, inside this post method, I also want us to pass in whatever it is that you have in the body. So the first thing we have is data. What I want us to pass in the data is the name of our file. So whatever it is that we have here, name. I will have a comma, and then we will pass in the meme type. And this one I'm going to set to whatever it is that we're having here. So we have a variable meme like that. And then upload type. In this case, I'm going to just set resumable. And you can use resumable when the upload that you are uploading is a big file. And I'm using this just as a precaution, because now we do not know, because we will be uploading files and other files will be big files and others won't be. But we have other upload types that we can be able to attach. There are 3 types of upload types. The first one is whereby you can be able to have the upload type here as media. So media, like that. And this is for a file that is less than 5 MB. It will be able to upload using that. Then, of course, you can have another upload type, which is multi-part, like that. And this is a file that is 5 MB or less, but has also metadata that describes the file, so that you can be able to use multi-part. And then resumable, the one that I had. This one is for uploading files that are greater than 5 MB, in such that whenever we have a network interruption, then the file can be uploaded after. Maybe if the internet goes off and then comes back on, the file will still continue being uploaded and it will not be interrupted. So basically, that is that. And now, after whatever it is that we have done, we have sent our request to upload the file. I want us to check if the response is successful. So what I'm going to do is to have an if function. And what I'm going to have inside here is to check if response is successful. So I'm going to have response. And you can be able to clearly see that this is what we are referring. So if you are checking using HTTP client if a response is successful, you just say response successful, like that, and it will give a boolean of course, in this case, either true or false, or yes or no, or something like that, which you'll be able to tell you that your file has been uploaded or not. So else we can have something else. So in this case, if the file is uploaded, we will be able to handle whatever it is that we want to handle here. And if it is not, we will be able to handle whatever it is that we have to handle here. Maybe just returning a response and telling our user that the file has not been uploaded. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just return a response. So here we are going to return response, and let me just give it as a JSON file. Maybe just type it in here. So return response, and inside here we can be able to type file uploaded to Google Drive, and then the same we can be able to copy and paste in the else function, and here we can say failed to upload. So in this case we can say just failed to upload to Google Drive. I think that one is okay, and I think we can be able to give it a try and see before I go ahead and save whatever it is that we have into the database. So the file name, I want us to call it my image. Of course, there's nothing that we are doing about the file name for now. And I want us to just pick an image here and then click upload. It's saying the file field is required. Did I upload it or didn't I do that? Yes, I think it is. We need to, in our file, we need to have it to say that it's a file like that. And then, yeah, we can be able to do it that way. So let me attempt again, refresh and attempt again. So my image, and then choose file, pick this one, like that, attempt to upload. And again, it's saying the file field is required. I do not understand why we are having issues. So let me just go back and check this form of ours. Probably I have not given the name of file. So let me just scroll, welcome.blade. Yes, I think I have not given, because you see this one, we have given it a name, and this one, it doesn't have a name. So you just type file and there's no name. So I think that is where we're having issues. The name should be file also. Go back, refresh, type in a name, and I'm calling it my image, and then pick this file and then upload it. It's taking time to load. Yes, we are having an error. We did use the string helper, but we did not import it. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to up here. After this, I'm going to say use. You can just say str like that instead of typing the whole of it. So I will refresh again and try my image, choose file. We will pick that image and then upload. And now it's saying undefined variable access token typo. It's a typo again. Return access token, and then down here, what am I referring to? I'm passing in access token single C. It's a typo. Go back again, refresh my image, and then our file, and then click upload. And now it says file uploaded to Google Drive. And I want us to check. So I want us to go to Gmail and then go to Google Drive. So I will just click this and go to Drive. And inside here, as you can see, there is a file that we have uploaded at that time. And I just want to, it is being uploaded anywhere within whatever it is that we have. So inside our Google Drive, but it's not uploading to a specific folder. So let us go ahead and ensure that our upload is going to a very specific folder. So in this case, I want us, if we want to upload to a specific folder, and let me just check Of course, there is a folder ID that we had in our previous tutorial, so that is the one that I'm going to do. So what we are going to do, as we are sending this post request, and this is still in the store method, I'm going to also attach something else. Apart from the upload type being resumable, I also want us to have parents. So when we declare the parents, that means we are talking about the folder to which this file should be saved. And what I want us to do, I would have been able to declare the folder ID up here and then put the variable inside here, or maybe I can just do the whole of it. So we can say config, and inside here we can be able to say services dot google dot folder underscore id, like that. And then yes, you can have a comma, and now this will be able to upload our file now to the specific folder in this case. So let us go back and try and see if that is the case also. So I'm going to type a name here, my image, and now pick the same file again and then upload. Again, it's uploaded to Google Drive. So I want us to look at my drive, and now I want us to look at which was the file that we had. I think it's avatars. Now you can see in avatars we have a file that has been uploaded just now. So basically that is how you can be able to specify where it is that you want a file to be uploaded. And you can be able to have, as I said in our previous tutorial, you can be able to have these folder IDs, several of them, many of them in fact, and have them saved in a database. And then once you have them in the database, you'll be picking depending on what type of file a user is uploading. So for example, if it is the avatar or the image, the profile picture, you can be able to save it in avatars. If the invoices, you can be able to save them in invoices, and so on and so forth. I want us to do a little bit more such that we'll be able to list our files, such that when we are attempting now to talk about how to download the files, we can be able to pick the files from the database with their file name and then be in a position to use the file ID to be able to download them from the Google Drive. So that is what I want us to do. So if the request is successful, I would like us to save this file. In this case, what I'm going to say is a file, or maybe just let me save it to uploaded file, like that. And we are going to have new file. So in this case, this is the file model. And then now we can say uploaded file, file, in this case name, and this we are going to just use the request file name. So whatever it is that we type. So in this case, maybe there's a name that a user will type as they upload the file. I do not know if that is a good scenario. After that, we can be able to have upload file. And in this case, I want us to have file underscore ID. Remember, in Google Drive, whenever you upload the files are usually given the file ID. So we need the file ID. And once we have this file ID, we can actually be able to use the file ID to get this file from Google Drive whenever we are searching for it, or maybe when we have decided to show to the user. So for us to be able to get the file ID, if our request is successful, I just want us to create a variable here, which I'm going to call file ID, file underscore ID. And for us to get the file ID, we can decode the JSON response. So JSON decode response, and then we can get the body, so response body, and we can get the ID like that. So basically, that is how we can be able to access our file ID. And once, of course, the file is uploaded, the file ID will automatically be there, so no issue. So I can say file underscore ID. And then lastly, we can be able to go ahead and save like that. So now we can go ahead and save, but I can see we have a mistake here. It's supposed to be file name. That is how I have saved it. I want us to go to our database. I've not been able to create the database yet. I've not been able to sort of create the tables. So we will go to database directory, migrations, and then the latest migration. And inside here, I want us to have two things. We have table, you have it as string. One of the things is a file underscore name. And then the other thing that I want us to have is a file ID, like that. So basically, if we have the two of them, we can be able to have the name of the file and then the ID, and the ID will be able to assist us when we are doing the downloads. I would like to just attempt and do one more upload and see if we can be able to upload and also save in the database. So let me go back and refresh. So I want us to call it my image 2. And I will choose the file, and I want to just pick which file. Let me just pick a file like this one here, and then upload it. File ID on null. Yes, we have not been able to, I think we have not been able to do our migrations. Is a possibility because there is no problem with generation of the file ID. So let us first of all go ahead and run our migrations. So what I'm going to do is to change the value of our database inside the env. And I just want to call our database G drive. After that, I want us to do the migration php artisan migrate. And since I have the database connected, I think we can be able to just create the database by typing in Y and then run our migrations. I believe that is the reason why we had that challenge. I want us to go back, refresh, and then my image 3. I want us to just pick something else, and these ones are not even images per se. We just pick a file, whatever file that I've picked, and it says we are assigning a file ID on null. So I want to check our file controller and see if we are actually able to get the file ID. So I'm going to do dd file underscore ID and see if there's anything that we get after we go ahead and do the upload. So I will refresh to just upload the same file again, and we have the ID. So I do not know why we are having issues whereby it's telling us we are assigning it on null. On close scrutiny, I can be able to see that there's a problem here because these ones I have saved in the variable uploaded file, and it's only affecting these two. So meaning that is actually where my problem has been all along. So I need to just copy what we have here and paste for this value and also paste for this value. And I think in doing so, we can be able to upload and also save the file ID to the database. So let me go ahead and refresh our web page and try again. So now I will refresh and then give a name to my file. So in this case, I can call it my image 5. And then choose a file, whatever file that I'm going to have. So maybe we can pick this one and then click on upload. And now it's still giving us the file ID. I think I need to comment out this value here. And then instead of just doing it all over again, I'll just refresh because it will be able to repeat the same action. And now you can see file uploaded to Google Drive. I want us to just check the database and see if there's any file that we have stored. Yes, we have the image 5 and we have the file ID. This is the end of this tutorial episode. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and you can also share this video. And if you like it, you can also comment. Thank you.